Oh, hi, hello everyone. Welcome to Jolene's Happy Time Craftcast. I am Joleen and Merry Happy Everything. It's lovely to be joining you here on December 24th. And wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a marvelous day. Um, I love this time of year. Have you been busy doing like holiday tradition and specific things? If you have, drop them in the comments so we can talk about it because usually I do a lot of baking, I do a lot of crafting, but this season, I don't know what's come over me. I am doing more like collage and a little bit more like projects that are not really destined to go anywhere, but just projects that I'm destined to enjoy and love. So, in today's episode, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about collage. And we're going to talk about like that feeling that you have when you just want to make something, but you don't know exactly what you want to make. You want to use your hands, you want to have an artistic expression, you want to be creative, but you don't exactly know what to do. So I've had a few folks ask to see some of my art journals, and I'm happy to share them. Knowing, of course, that when you do an art journal or a junk journal or whatever you want to call it, a visual journal, you might design that in a way that you're thinking, well, this really isn't for anyone's eyes but my own. And so, it really depends upon the approach that you take to your art journaling, visual journaling world. There are no specific rules. And ultimately, you do what you want to do. And I kind of feel that way too. So sometimes mine is a sketchbook and a playground. Sometimes it's technique. Sometimes I kind of get that perfectionist mindset where I want my visual journal, like every page of it, to be something amazing. And that's something that I'm really working on. I'm trying to let go of that perfectionism and really just enjoy the process. So I'm going to show you a couple of my journals and jump into the chat so we can like talk about it. Today's guest, I believe, had a scheduling conflict or maybe something come up, but we will definitely invite her back because I would love to talk about paper marbling. Like, I'm so excited. Like, that's been on my list of things to try for a really long time. So we'll be sure to invite her back. So you get me today, Kathy Baker. Oh, felt ornaments. Oh my gosh. I need to make some of those, and I want to do the kind where you actually sew the sequins on. Is that the kind that you do, Dari? Because I am all about it. Okay, so let's talk about junk journals, art journals, visual journals. So for the context of our conversation, I'm just going to say journal, and you can make that whatever that means to you is totally fine. So I like to make my own, and so this is my one of my journals, and of course it starts from a repurposed book, and I've done lots of content, videos, and tutorials about how I make these. You might notice that I'm frozen here for a second, but hopefully you can still hear me. Oh, come on. Merry Christmas, tech difficulties. Come on, come on, come on. There it is. Okay. So I start with a cover of a book, and I like to do the visual or the traveler's notebook binding. So my bindings are in elastic so that you don't actually sew into the binding of the book, but rather you can take them in and out. In fact, let me grab an example that shows it to you better. So this was one of my art kits a few months back. It's a watercolor notebook. And what I did was I put everybody's name on it. And then we used bookboard to make this cute little mosaic on the top. But I think in this one, you'll be better able to see how I do my traveler's notebook binding. So this first, all three of my signatures are inside of elastic. And it only takes 4 holes in the spine of your book. So you make 4 holes and you use one piece of elastic and you're going to tie on the inside. So start on the inside, go to the outside on both ends, and then you can, tie it up and you'll have 2 vertical lines inside where you can add your signatures. So that's what I do. I do that same thing in all of my journals. In this one, I did mosaic and engraving, and in this one, I did bookboard mosaic. which I love. These are, of course, cut up pieces of bookboard that I then collaged and mosaiced and glued to the cover. This is a Joleen signature. Like, this is my favorite way to do it. In this example, I'm holding up, these are all covers of Reader's Digest condensed, which of course are my favorite. And then I use some vintage fabrics to cover the back. And then it's the same rules of engagement on the inside. I collage with scrap fabric. I still do the Traveler's Notebook binding, and I build them the same way every time. Now, in this one, I have done 4 pieces of elastic, which just meant more holes on the outside, and then I even set them with, what are those things called? Eyelets. Yep, I went through eyelets so that I wouldn't actually tear the book. So the construction starts the same way, but let's go ahead and I'm going to like take you through my visual journal, and you can see what I do. Okay, so there it is. That might be a little too close. I'm sorry, the camera's going to be right in front of my face. All right, there we go. Okay, so one of my favorite ways to collage is I like the idea of background, focal point, and sentiment. That's one of my favorite collage techniques. So again, if you're feeling stuck and you don't really know what to do in your collage, do that. Take a background, one that already exists, find a focal point, and find a sentiment. Put those things together and you've got a page. This background is a scrap piece from when I do jelly plate printing. So when I jelly print, you know how if you do that, you have a lot of leftovers. You have to clean your brayer. You have prints that don't really work. You have a lot of pieces of paper. So I keep all of that and I use it again later. So this says, he tells me that the course of events has vexed him very much. Okay, cute way to start. All right, and then over on this side, I have done the collage challenges online. I think this one is from Februlage. So it's in the month of February, and they do a collage challenge every day. And I think the collage word for this day might have been cactus. So I follow my same rules. This is a leftover scrap from a jelly plate. And then I found a cactus somewhere, and then I thought it would be funny to put little people on top of the cactus. And then I just built an envelope because whenever I find these old papers, I have to keep them. So I just did a quick stitch at the bottom here to build a pocket. And then it's a great place to put my postcard since my postcard is double-sided. I did the same thing over on this side. I found this really awesome envelope and I just could not get rid of it. It has like old handwriting, old stamps, canceled stamps. Like, it's just so grungy and fabulous. So I found a lady and I put her on, and then you'll notice that when you see some of my elements pop off the page, that's because I've used a Stabilo awl and I've gone around my focal point so that we can get that focal point to pop off the page a little bit more. And so that's why she does. But this is another interactive page. You pull down and I got a full rooster on the moon. And again, it might not make any sense, but it was super fun for me while I was making it. Over on this side, again, I like the library pockets that come inside of the books that I repurpose. And so I keep all of them because they make great pockets. The little swimmer guy here is from a textbook, probably from like the 70s, I think. And then I love the canceled library cards. Like, that's just so cool. I love it. Must have it. Put it in the pocket. And then I found a little piece of paper. It might be backwards to you, but a little piece of paper in my son's stuff. Like, I don't know, it was laying around my office. I don't know, it just happened upon it. And if you find pieces like this, and maybe you're not scrapbooking anymore like we did back in the day, but this is from Charlie's notebook, and it says, "Our history isn't what we thought." So I have to keep that forever, so that goes in the pocket. All right, so again, over on this side, so collage. So I like to collage using different elements of texture and color. So there are other things going on back here, so I apologize, it might be kind of hard to see. So what I'm really looking at right now is just this one postcard. So you can see that I've got, this is a tea bag. I keep tea bags after they've been used, dump out all the tea, keep them in a little, you have to like get out all the tea because it can make a huge mess, but get out the tea, but it makes a really awesome collage layer. And then I don't know what this is. It's almost like a packing tape or something. This was the collage challenge, and I think the word was calm. So I did the background. I love old receipts, and then I used the lady in profile. I didn't do Stabilo all around her, but if I did, she would pop right off the page. And so she's just another cute little collage on a postcard. And I use washi tape to kind of bind it into my journal. Over here, I was playing around with washi tape and doodling, and I have a thank you card from my daughter that I will keep forever and ever. I did Stabilo all around the owl here, so you can see how he pops off the page. I'm really attracted to moms and babies in art and in the things that I find. And so whenever I see a mom and a baby, I have to keep it. This mom and baby, they happen to be surrounded by a school of fish. That seems normal. Over here on this side, this is actually a piece of wrapping paper that I love so much. And I thought that this, like, I don't know, he looks like a Confederate soldier to me, I guess. And so he's saying he loves the gays, which we all do. So, so again, my sense of humor reveals itself in my artwork. An envelope, I didn't do anything to, but stuck it in here because I love it. Over here, so get this, friends. This is a piece of wallpaper, and I just had to give the wallpaper. I know, Carrie, my imagination, you say it's inspiring. It also might be a little bit on the scary side, but I'm revealing the innerness of the Joleenisms here. So she is a piece of wallpaper, and then I had this textbook showing teeth and like how they go deep into our face, and so I just had to make a person, and it says that she needs better working conditions. Okay, so have fun with your journals. Minnesota. Oh, I found this homemaker. Isn't she awesome? And I put this vintage image down on, this is like those floral journals where they're just almost like scientific sketches of flowers. And then another piece of jelly plate leftover. A fish swimming through space. This is a crash test dummy, and I thought he was kind of scary looking. Like they actually put a wig on the dummy, and so I had to keep it. So this is what I mean. Like in my journals, sometimes my composition doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm actually just kind of having fun putting things in. This one is a 2-page spread with really interesting images from an encyclopedia. I took the blacks and whites, and like there was some pretty interesting stuff. And then I gave this guy some wings, and it was just fun to play around. Another collage with just vintage images from ads. Look at those. And so, honest to goodness, no wrong way to do it. I was just having fun. It seems that I like fish swimming in space. Another jelly plate print. And so again, you might notice that in my composition, I like high contrast. So a jelly plate background with a black and white image works really, really well. So one has to be black and white, one has to be color. It's kind of like the model that I use. Same over here, an owl. This, I just love her. She was an advertisement for a lady's bra, probably like a bra and girdle, if you can imagine. And so I follow my rules of background, focal point, and sentiment. And she says, ordinary world, let's bring it back. So that is like, again, when I don't know what to do, this is what I do. And I just end up making like little baby collages. Jelly plate paper, heart on tissue paper. What should we do now, boss? Look at this one, same idea. Background, focal point, sentiment. It works every single time. Every single time. Carrie just saw a poem that said he had dinner with all 21 years of himself. I'm going to journal all 62 years of me to give myself a party. Oh my gosh, Carrie, that's awesome. You have the best ideas. I love that. Again, fun images. Like, look at that little girl. She's got a butterfly or a bug on her nose. This little guy from a crochet magazine. I get into like a fixation, I guess. Background, focal point. He doesn't have a sentiment, but he's eating ice cream. These kind of speak for themselves. Background, focal point. And when you work in different sizes, that's another thing that I really like about working with the Traveler's Notebook binding is this was a 4x6. They are collections of postcards that I did. And instead of making another journal, I can just slip them underneath the elastic inside of this notebook. So let me show. So because it's a traveler's notebook, you see my elastic? This was like my little mini journal of 4x6s. And so instead of making a whole nother book, you just pick up the elastic and you slide it under. And because it's my journal, it doesn't matter that the pages are different sizes. So I'll just flip through. You let me know in the comments. And if you're listening, I'll do my best to describe. But mainly, the idea is when you don't know what to make and you just want to be creative. I often work smaller, like 4x6 works great for me. And if I follow my kind of logic of background, focal point, sentiment, I don't really get stuck. And I end up having like so much fun. Some of my cyanotype prints, I like hearts. I like hearts a lot. I love the rules of color mixing with, black and white. This one, the prompt must have been the word wheel. And so I've got a guy on a bicycle. This is a postcard from my friend Lacey. So I need to keep that forever. We're about to be interrupted by my son. So I'm just warning you. Hold on one second. Charlie, I'm on my podcast, babe. Hi. You want to be live? Sure. Okay. Well, would you all like to meet Charlie? Here he is. This is my youngest son, Charles. Here he is. This is the death metal drummer that I tell you about all the time. Your hair looks great. He looks like me, doesn't he? It's kind of like looking in a mirror. Yeah. Oh, see, look at the kids are home. You see the comments?
Kids are home, yes. Home in time for Christmas. And right now we're currently in Santa's workshop. It's super awesome down here.
Thanks, honey.
Right.
I'll be done in just a bit.
I love you.
Love you too, darling. Okay, again, the themes of mother and child. You'll see I do that all the time. Yes, that is Charlie. That's Charlie. Charlie's note from inside my book. Hey, Charlie, can you still hear me? Charles. Oh, he's long gone. Yeah, that's Charlie's note. And now he's a full grown-up. Isn't that wild? Absolutely wild. Yes, Carrie, I do talk about him all the time. I'm so proud. All right, so if you get postcards from friends, I also like to stick those in. Again, cutting out collage fodder and like putting it down into a background that already has a lot going on. This, friends, oh my gosh, I have to tell you about this. So I was going through, my grandma used to subscribe to Workbasket. Are you all familiar with Workbasket? And this is a crocheted vest, okay? And then in the magazine, they put a pumpkin head on top of like a wicker neck. And like, this is what they thought was a really great image for their magazine. Like the pumpkin head is crooked. It's like barely sitting on that wicker basket. I had to keep her. I had to keep her. And then they put a little pair of sunglasses on her. I mean, it's creepy in context. And also what they thought in 1964 was like, that's good for publication. Let's go ahead and put that in the book. Black and white images. Here's another collage fun idea. So if you have in your fodder and in your stash, just stacks of black and white images, do an entire page with those images, but make sure you take that Stabilo all and go around the edges and smudge it up so that it looks like a cool gallery inside of your journal. And mine says everybody was very hungry because I feel like the owl is like kind of rolling their eyes. But this is a fun spread too. Really, really fun. Black and whites. postcards from friends using washi tape, images from textbooks from the 70s. I love those. A cat collage. I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. Also, of course, some of my favorite collage fodder is from Collage Soup. So this is a Collage Soup background page, and I found this really awesome black and white guy. He's like a full body, got all kinds of tattoos, and then I used a sentiment. So same rule, background, focal point, sentiment, and even though you can see in the composition that my eye is making things into a triangle. So sometimes using full sheets of background paper, either your leftover jelly plates or, a full sheet from Collage Soup. In fact, let's grab a Collage Soup so you can see what I mean. So my friend Emily over at Collage Soup, she has these amazing books that I love so much. So like this one, for example. To me, this is an entire background page. And if we follow my formula, right? Follow my formula of, okay, we've got a background, and now let's choose a focal point. And I happen to keep some of my focal points cut apart and in a little box. Let me see if I can grab them quick. And if you don't do that, if you don't do it the way that I do it, you could also use like some of these Tim Holtz pieces and parts. So like this Tim Holtz one, it's just an entire like thing of people. So look at her. So we take her and let's say that we're going to set her on top of the flower. Now imagine that's like in a 4x6. So we've got background, focal point, and then of course sentiments I also keep in another. Thank you. You had to Google Stabilo all. Yeah. Oh, friends, you guys, if you just saw me turn around, I still have the tag on my jeans. Oh, I am like a garbage monster. Oh my God. Oh, you can tell I have vacation brain. That's awesome. Okay, cut that off. All right. So this is my container of sentiments. So, with all of the paper folding that I do, I keep a little tin of sentiments, just like these. They're all cut apart and ready to go. And so, like, let's say, oh, she fell from wherever she was, but let's say that we have got a person sitting on, oh, here we go. We have friends. Look at that. We have friends sitting in this valley of yellow flowers. How cute is that, right? So cute. Now imagine it's just like a 4x6. Then the next step is we go to our sentiments and we see if we have anything that matches. The pig pen was nothing if not warm. I don't think that one fits. Did you really write... Did you really write that knitting book or did you steal it? See, I love that. I love that so much. So I would cut that down into a 4x6, smush on my focal point, smush on my sentiment, and I would move on. Like that is how like having a formula has really helped me not get stuck. And then the more you do it, the more fun it becomes. So this is the Flower Power book from Collage Soup. Emily Stone, love her. She's been on the show. She's amazing. Highly recommend. And if you go to collagesoup.com, she's got digital downloads and books and all kinds of freebies. Like she is amazing. Love, love, love her. All right. I also keep in my stash, I keep a box of black and white so that, again, when I just want to be creative, sometimes half the challenge is finding the stuff that you have. And so some of them I like fussy cut all the way down. Others, I kind of wait so that I don't break off hands or feet. This is I think this is actually tissue paper. You can see I've gone through a whole phase of fish where I love fish. These images are from another collage fodder book. I've talked about this one a lot and I love it because they're all black and white. And this one is from Harder's Picture Archive. And sometimes when I don't know what to do, but I want to do something, I will fussy cut out stuff and just keep it inside of this little, so I've got a butterfly, I got a frog, some kind of cornstalk, more flying fish. It's a really great book. That's Harder's Picture Archive. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Okay. All right. So are you enjoying this? Should we keep going through my journals? I don't know if I need to describe them in as much detail as I am. You tell me what is helpful today. Over here, friends, I found a postcard that I sent to my parents. Like when I was in New York, like back in the, I guess I was early 2000s. When you play around with watercolor, again, I just absolutely love vintage images from old textbooks. Love them so much. Like, look at this. This was from a textbook from like the late 70s. Had to have it. Had to have it. Sometimes I just like to do little explorations in color. A penguin in some aloe vera seems like a thing a person would see. Okay, here's another example. Check this one out. Background, focal point, sentiment. Love letters are sometimes bombshells is the sentiment that I found. And this is definitely a floral from Collage Soup. Isn't that a cute little page? And of course, a cat on a jelly plate. Again, mothers and babies in artwork, some of my favorite things to keep. But can you see what I did? I added this lady, and she's like turning the page. She's turning the page of, I don't know, could be a Bible. I don't know. Again, I think I'm hilarious. So ways that you can even do like absurd collage in your collage, I think is super fun. Again, mothers and babies, vintage collage dumps, I guess you would say, where you're keeping all kinds of stuff. Postcards from friends. Love that. Oh, I even have a page. This is washi tape. Hi, Karen. This is like a washi tape collage. So like when I'm done with washi tape, instead of throwing it away, I just add a little bit of glue stick and put it in here. Oh my gosh, blackout poetry. I've talked about that lots of times. I also do the blackout poetry when I don't know what to do. Love it. You know, you just redact and then you keep what means something to you. Or sometimes I visualize that I'm writing a story. So like in this one, it was worse than I expected. I had hoped we had a big story involved. It's trouble. Ooh. Oh, look at this that I found inside a book, just as it was. Had to have it, put it next to some blackout poetry. You can see that in your blackout poetry, there's a couple ways you can do it, lots of ways. You can redact everything and just be left with a few words, or you can just go line by line and then you can, take your Sharpie and put a square around what's important. All that morning, I told myself my smile was easy and casual, far removed from crazy. I was relieved to have nothing. Again, I have no idea what my blackout poetry is about. I just circle words that I like. This is, I cut this out of a greeting card. My friend Denise Griffin is an amazing watercolor artist, and this is her artwork. And so I cut that out and kept it. Have no idea what that was, but I loved it again. So you can see that I'm junk journal mixed with visual journal, mixed with collage, and that's the way that I like to do it. I like not having any rules. Look at this, just an apple on top of a piece of wallpaper. This, I think I did some weaving with jelly plate left-offs, and then of course that is from a vintage textbook. Now look at her. I'm sure you're having a hard time seeing her, so let me just demonstrate what happens with a Stabilo awl. So you take that Stabilo awl, A-L-L, and you come around. And the great thing about a Stabilo awl is you come back and you can smudge it. And it's how you can really get your focal points to pop. Now, I've followed some artists who like take like a wet wipe and then they really smudge it, or they just lick their finger and they smudge it. It's your book, right? Who cares? And then it looks just a little bit more blended in. And if I do that, this collage all the way around, it's really, really going to change. Whenever I don't stabilo all, I think, what? Why didn't I do it? Maybe I just forgot. Now, Stabilo alls, in my experience, I think it's better to buy them by the box. Mine always take a while to get here. I think you can get 12 in a box for like maybe $12 or something. But if you buy them by the onesie and twosies, they're just a little bit more expensive. So yeah, you might think that's gross that I just licked my finger, but that's the realism of Joleen, friends. That's how I do it. Isn't that awesome? I just freaking love that Stabilo all. It just like makes everything so much better. I'll keep going here so you can like see the whole thing. You do have to be careful though, that when you are smudging, you're not actually ripping where you fussy cut. Like already on my lady here, I like ripped off a little bit of her hair, which I can, you know, glue back down, but like, look, like I didn't have good contact on her hand. And so you can do damage, right, if you're just like going through and not being careful. So we'll just kind of give this like a rough outline, and then I'll come back, glue her down, and then smudge it with some spit. There we go. There we go. Isn't that just like a million times better? And so now with this one too, like, and that's how I kind of work in my journal. I see something where there's like a little bit more opportunity, and then I can go back later. Oh, look at this. It was a beautiful card. Again, friends, look at this. I found this in like a magazine. I don't know what it is. I can't remember where it's from, but it was like so creepy. Had to have her. This, oh my gosh, this, I don't know if you can see. This is so awesome. This is like a tin. It's like a tin little baby piece of art. And I think it came like in a folder for stamps. Again, love it, have to keep it. Another card from my artist friend Denise. This is her watercolor. Like she is so talented. In fact, we have her artwork on our yoga mats. Denise Griffin is her name, and this is called Heart Song. And so it's this crop that is one of our best-selling yoga mats. And then she's got cards and cups and all the fun things. Playing around with watercolor leftovers. I get bothered sometimes about things. And then look at this is a cute little illustration from my friend Jules. If you know Jules on social media, Jules does collage. I think she's had a couple of different names, but she sent this cute illustration to me that she painted on bookboard, and so I just attached it inside of my journal. So that's one. That's just one of a gabillion. So again, when you're feeling stuck, background, focal point, sentiment. And then I want to show you one other strategy that you can try with your collage. So here in this one, it's another one of my journals, I have a blank page. Let me see if I can get that better centered for you. This is left from the page before it. Okay. So I tend to use matte medium or a glue stick. I like both. Today, since we need things to dry a little bit faster, I'm going to use a glue stick. And I've talked at length about some of my favorite glue sticks. I'm kind of in a Prit phase right now. Prit is, I believe they're imported. You can get them on Amazon. They are super sticky. They've got really good adhesion, good dwell time. Like it doesn't take a long time. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. On a blank piece of paper, I want you to pick out 3 different collage papers that have some contrast. So I have this bingo sheet. Don't know where it came from. I think it actually came from inside a game. So I have the bingo sheet, which is high contrast, from a little bit of recipe that has some like fading and sun damage. It's been torn out. And then I also like where it was attached inside the book. And then my favorite collage fodder of all is, oh gosh, this makes me cry every time, is from my dad's little notebook where he kept receipts and doodles. And so this is my dad's handwriting. And whenever I come upon it, I love it so much. And I love to include it in my art. My dad's been gone a long time. So when I find something that he actually touched, I get a little choked up, as I'm sure you can imagine. Okay. So, and if I give you a little piece of this collage fodder when you're at my house, it means I love you very much that I'm sharing it. So anyway, okay. So to get started, let's just take a little tear and we're going to use this first. We're going to put this one down. And you could like get all fussy about it and like arrange it and rearrange it a million times. Or friends, let's just go for it, right? So when I'm collaging, I really like to, I always use a glue paper. You've probably heard me talk about that a lot, so that I'm not being precious with these edges. So if I use a glue paper, I come all the way to the edge. Otherwise, if you don't, you're worried about getting glue all over. So use glue paper, a glue book. I've used the same Sudoku puzzle book for years. Old coloring books make good glue books. Okay, we put that down. All right, then we've got this one, right? So I kind of like that one there. I'm going to bring my glue paper back. And again, because I have my glue paper, I won't be precious. I want to make sure, though, that I don't rip off where I tore it out of the book because I love those. I love those so much. So you got to be careful. Again, it's just good texture. Now, can you see how juicy that Prit is? That Prit glue stick. I think you're really going to like it. It's kind of awesome. All right, so that goes there. Again, we're having fun. We're not thinking about it too much. But here's just another formula. Plain background and then 3 different types of collage fodder, all with like different kinds of writing. That's another one of my formulas. And then I've got this strip of my dad's. And I don't want to cover up. Like this is the part I like the most. Maybe here, maybe here, maybe, oh, here, right? Doesn't that look good? All right. Again, we come back to our glue paper or an old coloring book, just because look, if I didn't have this glue paper, I wouldn't bravely go around those edges because I would be afraid of getting glue on something. So Carrie has her grandmother's journals. Most of them are dates with temperatures, but some have pages where they traveled. Carrie, I love that. Oh, Carrie, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you what I recently grabbed out of the garbage. Like whenever I go to the recycling center and I find a date book, I feel like I've just like won. All right, so that's it. And then what happens if you take a high contrast circle or color something, right? If I put that there, and then I go back to my idea about a focal point. Now I've given my composition something where this can like bounce off of it. So some of these, like look at these guys, right? And look at that. How long did it take us to make that collage? Not very long at all. And so I cut a circle, something with a lot of contrast to like pop against those papers. Put that there. And then we can play around with focal point. Friends, that's so awesome. Do we like these dudes? I like these dudes. Sometimes this Tim Holtz fodder, it's on like a crispy cardstock. And so it doesn't stick as well because it's just so thick. So let me just double check to see what I've already got cut. I have a fish. Okay. See, that speaks to me. That speaks to me. I love that. I love that. And so we have just one more formula. And again, like you might want to be like really thinking about your collage and like being super slow and purposeful. And like that's totally fine too. But sometimes I'm just in a mood to do this. And I want to kind of do it quickly so I'm not getting stuck. And away we go. Now, check that out. Look at that. Isn't that cute? So we could stabilo all around our fish and see what that does. Yeah, yeah. Hi, Carrie. Oh, and thank you for setting a timer to be with me. I appreciate that. So just for giggles here, let's use that stabilo, go around the edge of my fish, get him to pop. And now if I wanted to do a sentiment, I sure could, right? Or we could leave it. Oh yeah. Trying to find a clean finger. They're all full of glue. Oh, I love that. And this, my friends, is how your friend Joleen plays in her art journal. That's freaking awesome. Look at that. Done. Done, done, done. So, okay. So what have we talked about today? We have talked about fun ways to collage background, focal point, sentiment. We've talked about using 3 different textures, colors, kind of different, how would you say that? It's kind of like these 3 papers have 3 different vibes, but they're still neutral. So a neutral background, high contrast circle, a focal point, and you've got yourself a really fun page. I kind of like leaving it on the white, but you could certainly do more. Absolutely. The other thing that I wanted to show you today, and can you believe it? We are out almost out of time. It always goes by so fast. But I've been making a promise to go over books that I love and share them with you. And the book that I'd like to talk about today, I have had it for years. It is called Drawing Lab. It's 52 creative exercises to make drawing fun. And I'm sure you've heard me say that, like, I never knew I was an artist because I can't draw. And you want me as your Pictionary partner because I am an incredible guesser, but I'm a terrible, terrible, terrible drawer. And I really have wanted for a long time for that to be different. So I buy resources that help me get out of my head. And this is an oldie. Like, I've had this one for a long time, 2010. But I still draw on it and pull from it. And I promise you, I have done all of these exercises. And so, like, let's learn to draw a cat, right? Because I say I can't draw a cat. So it's like, draw a cat. But what I've loved about this book is it's like, it doesn't need to be a literal cat. It can be your interpretation of a cat. And what might you add and how might you make it different? And I love it. She's got blind contour drawings. This one is by Carla Sondheim. She's got blind contour. She's got, take a number, make it into something, be imaginative, put feathers on something. It's been great. Do scribble exercises. Like, there are 52 simple drawing exercises inside of this book. And I promise you, friends, I have done them all. And it has really, really helped me a lot, especially like to get out of my head and to not feel so like rigid about it because I can do all kinds of things and I want to be able to do this better. So, Drawing Lab for Mixed Media Artists by Carla Sondheim, published date of 2010, but it's amazing. So, like, look at this one. So for exercise 18, you need white cardstock or your sketchbook and a black permanent marker. And then here are the instructions. She says, choose one of the subjects in the sidebar below and draw it from memory using one line only. Do not lift your pen from the paper. Try not to think too much, just let the pen flow over the paper. Remember, it should look like one line. You should be able to follow the path from beginning to end with your eyes. Think loops. Repeat this subject 2 or 3 more times, then move on to the second subject. Repeat until you have drawn 5 or 6. That's the other thing she says. She talks a lot about practice. So, like, if you want to draw a cat, Joleen, you can't draw just one cat. Like, you have to draw 50 cats. Like, you really have to try and practice. Now, look at your drawings. Is there one that you like more than others? Are there some that surprised you? So, like, her subjects are vase of flowers, bicycle, car, guitar, elephant, cat, human face, light bulb, whatever. Okay, so then let's say we go over to our visual journal. Look at our cute collage we just made. and I find another blank piece of paper, got it, and a pencil. And without picking my pencil up, I'm going to do a light bulb. Okay, from memory. There's that thing, and that thing, and that thing. And then I think it does a little whoopty thing down here and a whoopty thing. And then I got to get back up there, right? Because I can't lift up my pencil. Okay. And then I got to go over it again. And then I feel like maybe with my light bulb, there's a string. I don't know. Is there a string on a light bulb? I don't know. See, I think I just drew a light bulb, right? And so I love this book. I love it. Now, what will I do with that in my visual journal? I don't know. I might collage over it. I might add some more color. Doesn't really matter. The point is that you just keep practicing and trying and having fun. So on the Joleen scale of do you need this book? If you want to be a better drawer and if you want to have like guidance and better practice and if you're looking for little baby quick wins, like 52 little baby lessons, yeah, get it. Get it. It's great. Drawing Lab, Carla Sondheim, 2010, 10 out of 10. I love it. And I've actually used it lots and lots and lots and lots. So cool. Look at this one, 29. Collaborate with a child's words. Just great. I love it. I love it. Okay. Okay. There's that. All right. Can you believe we are almost out of time? Thank you so much for being with me here on this holiday day. I know our show was a little bit different than intended. I do hope everything is okay with our guest and that she'll be able to join us again another time, but it happens, especially this time in the season. So we're going to be on break for 2 weeks. We're off on the 31st and the 7th, but we will be back on, I guess it's probably the 14th of January, if you can believe it. And we've got all kinds of fun things in store for 2026. So thank you so much for being here with me live or listening on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. I really appreciate it. And a couple of asks. If you wouldn't mind telling folks about the Happy Time Craftcast, I would really appreciate it, or subscribing on iTunes if you haven't done that yet. One of our goals for 2026 is to actually get like a real live grown-up sponsor for the Happy Time Craftcast and just see if other people might not want to be a part of our community and do the fun things that we do. So letting people know about it would be greatly appreciated. If you can believe it, I think we're starting our third year. Is that right? Our third year of the show. So it'd be nice to have more friends here. Okay, so you have the merriest, happiest holiday of all. And know that I'll be thinking of you. And I hope until I see you again, you do all kinds of things that make you happy. Thanks for being here, everybody.